Today we are working with our friends at Warrior Boats in beautiful Melrose, Minnesota. Hi folks, I'm Nate with Two Guys a Ride, and today Rob and I are out here in beautiful Melrose, Minnesota, and we are at Warrior Boats, and we're here with Kent. Kent, thanks for having us today.
Absolutely, thanks for coming out.
Appreciate it. Today we're going to take a tour of the factory and see how your Warrior boat is made. Let's get started. All right, so Kent, we're here inside the Lamination Center where everything starts.
This is where every Warrior boat is born. First they get started on that order form when they get sent into us, and we turn that paper into beautiful Warrior boats.
So these are the actual molds?
Yes, so this would be, we're looking at the hull mold and the deck mold of our V238, which is the king of the multi-species fishing industry right now.
That is huge. I can't imagine the stability on the water with that.
In the way they crush waves. I mean, it's amazing how big they look when you turn them on their side compared to when they're sitting on the trailer. They look big enough, but when you flip them up on their side, you really realize how big these things are.
You know, and this is a good place just to, to bring up, Warrior boats are built for quality.
Absolutely. We pride ourselves on building each boat as the individual boat. We build one boat at a time. We're building a boat for every boat we build is for a Warrior family member.
So you order a boat. Depending on the model you ordered, there might be a different mold, but this is what they look like, and this is how they start.
Absolutely.
So what happens next?
So after the first thing they have to do with these molds is they'll have to tape off. We have multiple pin lines, stuff like that. So they'll have to tape off these molds. So they'll wipe these down, they'll tape them off and start putting the tape lines and everything. But as soon as everything's taped off and ready to go, they're going to head over into this booth here and they're going to start getting the first step. And that's the clear coat and your flake. And they're built from the outside in. So that's probably the hardest thing for a lot of people to understand, is that they're not built from the inside out. Like a lot of people are like, well, you can change the paint color or whatever. No, once you pick the color is going to be your first thing going into the boat. So once you pick the color and it's sprayed, that's what you have.
All right, now we're going to walk in here and just take a peek at one that's sitting in there.
Absolutely. So this one's in the painting process right now.
So this is where they start spraying in what you see on the outside of the boat.
Absolutely. So step one of the actual build process happens here.
Man, that is sweet. Okay, so it starts there. So take us to the next step.
So once they come out of the spray booth and they get their barrier coat and everything gets ready to start getting all the parts and pieces put in, they head over to this stage in the process.
Okay, you got several going at the same time.
Absolutely.
In different stages.
Yep.
Okay.
Because the reason you got to have that mold mix and the multiple boats going is because you have your dry times in between each step. You can't jump from one to the next because it's like the easiest way to probably do it is like doing a tile shower.
Okay.
You can't do the whole wall at one time because you got to let that stuff dry before you can continue stacking.
Okay, so this is the first place they come out of the mold.
Yep.
Here you've got what would sit inside the hull. There's an example of a hull.
Yep.
Not necessarily the same boat in this case.
No, but they're going to go together.
Okay.
So this one's actually got the layers of laminate in it. The next step this one's going to see is going to be getting the transom put in and the stringer systems installed. And that would be, so when it comes out of the spray booth, same thing, it's going to get a skin coat, and then they do start laying their layers of laminate in it. But here you see a hull that is ready for the stringers and transoms.
And then they go over here where they get the transom put in?
Yep, you're going to get, after they got the layers of laminate in here, then they're going to go over here and they're going to get a transom, stringer systems, all your foam boxes, rod chutes, and after the rod chutes are in, everything's done there, that's when they'll foam that hull, and the next step after it's foamed is it'll be pulled out of the mold. So this one's getting the rod chute attached to it right now, so the rod chute will get carpeted over at the assembly side. We'll bring it back in here, and then they'll set them, and this will all be glassed in. It'll all be one part. So here's one that's got the foam boxes all done in the gunnels. The skin coats all done, ready to go. This top cap is about ready to get separated from the mold.
Okay. Okay, so then over here they're adding a couple of components, right, on the inside?
So this one we got the transoms installed, the stringer system installed, all your foam cavities are installed. What they're installing here is these are rod shelves, which are almost exclusive to Warrior. There's very few, if I don't know of any other fiberglass manufacturers that have that, where we have an open rod chute, and we can talk about that when we get more to the finish side. But we talked about it when we did the walkthrough at the show.
Right.
It's one of my favorite things about the Warrior boat is the open rod shelf, because you got a place to put your rods rather than having them laying on the floor. The ones you're using are up and away.
Yep.
So that's primarily pretty much the last step here. They got to get the rod chutes in. Once the rod chutes are in, then it'll head to the foam booth, and they'll end up foaming and filling everything with foam and ready to come out of the mold. So this would be the hull for this cap.
And this will be flipped over and set inside of there.
When it gets over. Once both parts are out, and
Correct.
they go through a few more stages.
So these are actually the same boat.
Yep.
Okay, and then from here, then the molds, then these two pieces head over to the other shop.
Yep, they'll both come out, and then they'll head over to the assembly side.
Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about, how do you design these? Warrior was a boat company that went under a while ago. You guys bought it out and brought it back. How do you come up with all the ideas? You have CAD machines. I mean, where's all your computerized systems that help you design all this stuff? How do you do that?
A lot of it is done by trial and error, and then using the product. We draw a lot of it out, and a lot of us might think we're dinosaurs, but we still get the old elbow grease. And the way we build our molds is we don't CAD our molds. We do it all by hand and with wood and putty and that type of stuff, where then you actually see your finished product before you build it. Yep.
So if you folks have ever seen Ken Diggett, this is the Ken Diggett of boats. Up here and in his hand. Doesn't need a computer to do that for him.
It makes your life a lot easier some days. What you see here is this is our stringer systems for the different models that are going through production right now. So you're gonna have the stringer systems. Those stringer systems will be set into the hulls.
Yep.
Transoms set in. So there's many pieces to each boat that all become one piece, is what gives it the strength.
But they're all made here.
Yes, they're all made here.
And then assembled as you go.
Yep.
Before it goes to the final assembly. That's all those pieces are, like you said, put together so it looks like one boat.
Absolutely. Like it's almost seamless as the people see it. And not only you have your stringers, but over here you'll see your live oil system.
Yeah.
So a lot of manufacturers will use plastic live wells or extruded live wells and stuff. Where all ours are all fiberglass, high quality.
All built by you guys.
Yep.
All built here in Minnesota. Then they head over to your other building.
Then they head over to the assembly side of things, where they finally start looking like a boat.
Like a boat. Well, let's head over there.
All right, sounds good. Let's head over there.
All right, so here we are where the boat comes from, all the lamination, right?
Yep, so now they've come out of lamination. These have been pulled. Now the next step over here, after they were foamed, come out of the mold, put them on a trailer, get them over here, and then they're going to start cutting. They're going to cut all this. They're going to end up cutting the edges off of everything, and
so this is where, like we kind of mentioned,
this is where you're going to see that they look like a boat.
Right. And the cool thing is, if you remember in the very first part of the video, we started off in a spray booth.
Yep.
And it was silver. That's what they were painting.
That's exactly what they were painting.
Okay. Built from the outside in.
Outside in.
All right.
Color's the first thing in them.
So they go ahead and they trim all this up. Everything else you see inside of the boat is already put in at the other building.
Absolutely. So everything's done. And one of the huge things that I feel that we do, that maybe the other ones don't, is a lot of places that anything could ever get at, we also gel coat the insides, which is a build gel, just cleans everything up as it's going through, makes everything nice and clean, seals everything from any contaminants ever getting in. Another huge thing that we'll talk about when we get to the deck side of it is we do the same thing on the bottom side of our top caps. So any place that you would ever reach your hands in these boats are finished, so you're not going to get fiberglass.
Cut everything, and you know, I mean, it's all fiberglass. And we talked about the earlier.
100% wood-free construction. Everything is fiberglass composite materials in these boats from top to bottom.
And that just speaks to the quality, having that, you know, these little touches along the way. Just ensuring that when you get it, because fiberglass, you know, can, the fibers can start to get loose in some places if over time. So, but with this gel coating, you're never going to see that.
Everything's sealed up, ready to go. Makes one complete unit when it's done.
All right, so let's go to the next step.
All right, well, when they come out of here, obviously when the top caps come over, they're going to have the same step. But when they come out of there, they're going to head over here to where they get carpet, fuel tanks, all that good stuff. And another step that I feel that we do above many others is we are using 100% aluminum fuel tanks. No plastic tanks. Everything is, for
high
one,
quality.
High quality. For two, you can custom everything to fit. Different sizes. We're not stuck into certain things. Obviously, you can do anything with plastic, but then you're getting into the usages.
Right.
And with a small niche builder like we are, this just gives us the ability to have different tanks for every model. I mean, we have tanks ranging from 30 gallons in our 1890 tiller all the way up to a 78-gallon tank in our 238.
Which gives you, I mean, you know, when you're out on those big lakes and you're fishing, you don't want to have to go in every couple hours and fill.
No,
you want to be able to spend the day out.
Or days.
Yeah.
You know, you look at places like the Dakotas where they're staying remotely. They want to be able to fill up their tank with fuel and have enough fuel to get them through the weekend.
All right, so the carpet's going in here. You got the fuel tank going in. What's the next step?
Next step, well, this is getting done here. Over in the decks department, they're getting the top cap ready to rock and roll. So the first thing that's done is this boat's already started to get parted out. So this boat's got your dashes, they put in the speaker, your bow pads, your quick release on your trolling motor. All the stuff that they're putting in, lights, will get done when it's this way. Then they're going to flip this upside down, and they're going to be able to do all the wiring, plumbing, live wells foamed, all that good stuff.
From here, where does it go?
So from here, once they're going to put the two pieces together, so we seen the hull that one was getting worked on. That deck is ready to go to be paired with that hull. And they're going to set those two together. Once they're set together, then they head over to final assembly.
Okay, so when you put the top and the bottom together,
yep.
How do you seal them together?
So you have the floors are adhered at that point with a bonding agent.
Okay.
And then around the perimeter is adhered with bonding agent, plus they're pinned.
Okay. So explain pinning to me.
Pinning is it's what it is screws.
Okay.
So it's a screw. We've seen that screw retention material.
Yeah, you put it in.
Yep. So everything's there. So the screws basically are holding. You have some holding to it, but you also have that bonding agent that adheres as well.
All right. What's the next step?
So these ones are all actually ready to go into final assembly.
And what else gets done at this stage?
So here's where they're going to put your doors, your windshields. They're going to connect all your connections from the top and bottom of the boats to make everything unified as one.
Okay. So they're going to take all those electric cables that were run
and all the electric ones you're seeing in here, builds pumps.
Now here they're connected.
To get everything connected, the windshields will go on, your gunnel molding. So basically here you're going to see everything done except for your final rigging and detailing, which is going to be your motors, your electronics, any of the final details, say like your aqua tractions and things like that will be done in the final step.
Wow.
But here, this is where, you know, as we go through the process, every step they get closer and closer to looking like a boat.
And, you know, I can't help but notice it's all hand done.
Absolutely.
Every step you got someone in there that's actually fashioning. It's not a robot. It's not, it's
The
quality and the craftsmanship is outstanding.
Everybody that builds these boats are craftsmen, and these guys take pride in what they do. And I would put our crew putting these boats together against any boat builder out there, because these guys are proud of what they're building.
Proud of what they're building, absolutely.
So this one is in the same stage as there when we were here earlier.
Okay, just a different model.
Yep, different model, but same thing. So this one's got basically nothing done to it yet. Dave's back there taping up the back because we put a texturized coating in the splash holes just to eliminate slip if anyone's ever in there. Not to mention just the stuff that gets piled in a splash hole bouncing around, it just makes it more durable back there.
Okay, another small but welcome touch.
Absolutely.
For the owner.
There's many things that we do that just the quality and fit and finish just steps it up there.
All right, so from here, we still need a motor.
Yep. So
and a few other electronics added, maybe your controllers for your motor, that kind of stuff.
When we head over to the detailing bay and the rigging bay, they're gonna put motors on, electronics on, trolling motors will get mounted, trim tabs, all that final intricate details will be added to the boat.
All right, let's go take a look.
Yep. That's where the power happens.
Literally.
Literally.
So your trailers, they're branded where you make them here, or
they are built by Easy Loader Custom Trailers.
Oh yeah,
specifically for each model of boat
you have. Okay.
Yep.
Now some of them must have like a dealer name on them too. Is that?
Yep. So that's an option that we offer. You can either have nothing, or you can have a model light or a rail light, or if you wanted to say Bob's Boat, it could say Bob's Boat.
Okay. Oh, interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so here we are kind of in the final room of the whole assembly process.
So this boat has actually just been wrapped up in final assembly. Comes over, now it's ready for these guys to grab a hold of it and start making things happen to it.
All right, so let's go here because they're actually working on one. So obviously you've got the main motor, you've got the kicker motor, and they're just working on connecting everything. You got your trim tabs put on. I mean, this is starting to look like a boat you'd see on a showroom floor.
Absolutely. Over here, they're going to hang the motors. They're going to get the motors hooked up, all the harnesses, everything there, trim tabs. If they have electronics in, they're going to have electronics installed at this point, battery chargers, keel guards, bow mounts, fish finders, all that stuff will be added at this point.
Okay. Man, now you sell a variety of motors.
Yes,
which is unusual.
A lot of manufacturers nowadays are exclusive to one brand or another.
Correct.
We offer the three big: Suzuki, Yamaha, Mercury.
So that's another plus.
It is. I mean,
people want a little different motor, you can accommodate them.
They are a production built boat, but they're also a semi-custom built boat. There's many things that, with the size of company we have, there's many things that we can do that other companies can't.
Absolutely, because I mean, literally everything is hands-on. I mean, it is, you're right here. You don't have hundreds of people touching the same thing. It's all specialized people. It's a family.
It's the Warrior family, and like I said before, these guys are better than anyone out there.
Let's take a look at one that's just about ready to go out the door here. Okay, so this one. Okay, tell us what happens. It's just about ready to go out the door.
So this one's where the final details get added. Your aqua traction flooring. These guys are going to clean it up. They're going to clean up the mess that those guys made, and this thing's going to be showroom ready when it wheels out the door.
Is this where they put the badging on too?
Yep. So this is going to be where the Warrior decals are added. Like I said, the aqua traction, the seats are put in. It's going to get any scratches, nicks that were done in the production process, and it's going to be polished up and ready to go. And then they're going to get a nice Christmas wrap on them. Everything's shrink wrapped and transhield cover with a felt on the inside to protect it, to get it delivered across the country to your dealer.
Now, out here you have a bunch that are finished the whole process and are actually, well, we'll say Christmas wrapped, right?
Yep, ready.
Ready to go to the dealer.
Ready to go find their new home.
All right, so, Kent, that's been an amazing tour.
And I appreciate you guys coming up and enjoying it.
I tell you what, it was our pleasure. Now, just a couple of things before we wrap up here, but the quality of Warrior boats as we've gone from, you know, through the whole process, it's just amazing. I mean, the steps that are taken to ensure that everything is sealed, everything looks nice, everything is fiberglass, the strength, and the fact that you don't have hundreds of employees, so that you know everybody.
We do, and we have a very good control on what's going on. If there is a change that needs to be made, it doesn't take months for that change. We can make a change happen instantly, basically from one boat to the next. We've been very fortunate with warranty claims. We have very minimal warranty claims on our product, and a lot of that comes back to the guys building them. You know, the attention to detail that, and I can't stress it enough, that the guys putting the parts and pieces and everything on these boats from the start to finish, they wear Warrior on their sleeve, and they're very proud of it.
Which is good to know, because you don't want, you know, typically you don't want a Friday assembly line car.
Absolutely not.
Right.
And
whereas here,
that's why we don't work Fridays.
They don't work Fridays.
They do.
There you
They
go.
do.
But I mean, the pride that goes with it makes
Absolutely.
a person say, "This is my boat. I'm going to make sure it looks perfect and is perfectly installed," because that's just pride.
Absolutely, and they it's not a job to them. They love what they do. They're happy to come to work every day. I mean, everybody in the organization, from the owners to myself and the sales staff, the gals in the office, and the men on the floor, and the gals on the floor, we all love our product. For me, it's way more. It's not even. I wouldn't even call it a job. It's my life.
And you used your own product.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't.
All of us do.
Right.
You
and
know?
so you speak from experience, not just as, you know, helping design all the sales stuff, but you've experienced the boats.
Absolutely, and I think that is one more step that really sets it apart. Is we all use the product. We go out there. We know what the product needs to do to perform. And like I tell people, we're never going to build the fastest boat on the water.
Yeah.
Maybe in rough water, I'm pretty sure we'll beat everybody. But at the end of the day, we're going to build a boat that is going to be the best water, multi-species fishing platform in the industry, hands down. And we take all the pride in it to do that. And like I've always said, if you want to join the Warrior family, a great place to go join the Warrior family is you're going to have to go to our warriorboatsinc.com, go to the dealer page, find the state you live in, find your closest dealer, give them a call, and we'd be more than happy to have you join the Warrior family.
So let's talk about the warranty on these boats.
Yep. So what you got, every boat's going to get a 3-year bow to stern. That's going to be on any Warrior component. Okay. Components, your electronics and stuff are all going to be in motors, are going to be carried by their own warranty, where bow to stern is going to be covered, and then you're going to be a lifetime to original owner on the hull.
Okay.
So if you own that boat if you buy it and we build them to be a lifetime boat, these boats are going to last you a lifetime. So if you want to buy a boat and keep it for the rest of your life, you're going to be covered.
Availability. If I were to order one now, how long would it take me to actually get one?
That's all gonna vary as far as dealer to dealer and model to model.
Okay.
So, but there is boats that have not been started in production. Basically, if you were lucky and you drew that lottery ticket number and grabbed the right model and the right dealer, you could probably have a new boat in your hands that you could customize, you know, in 8 to 12 weeks.
8 to 12 weeks. Wow. That's not bad considering what we see in the car industry.
No, not
at
nowadays.
All.
No, there are some models that you might be waiting for over a year on. But
might be, because they're not, right. Depends on what you have going in the process at the time. But, well, I'll tell you what, Kent, man, thank you so much for taking us through this tour and showing us how Warrior boats are made and the pride that they're made with and the quality. We sure appreciate it.
No problem. Hopefully some of you will join the Warrior family.
Absolutely. And thanks for watching.